12. Chapter 12. There's Nick. What's up, Nick? What's going on? What happened with last night's game? Went for 6 hours? Yeah. And the Red Sox won. It went for 12 minutes less than it normally does because of 400 various rule changes. Still a good game. Still a good game. Milwaukee needs to get back on pace here, though. You know what I'm saying? Right, Cubs want them, yeah. You know what? You still got a good enough lead. I was going to wish you a positive Friday Bay walk-ins, all this negative crap about the Yankees. Also, Mr. Frank, positive. A positive they kicked your ass last night. What is that? 4 in a row? 5 in a row? Going back? It's nice. Nice. I still think it's going to end up being Red Sox, Yankees, wild card. And whoever has the better record, 3-game series, home field advantage, all 3 games. So Boston needs to get ahead of the Yankees. I think they're half a game out or so right now. But that's not important. It's important that my wife is sleeping, so I can't be yelling today. Her cousin had a cousin who just had a baby not too long ago. Had some ongoing complications. She had to go to the hospital last night, and her husband had to work overnight. 17-year-olds in a row is right. So Shelly spent the night over there at the hospital with her, and then in the emergency room, and then spent the night. So she didn't get home till this morning. Good part is, 8:30 this morning, she messages. She says, I'm on my way home, and I'm not going to pick up the dog yet, but I am going to pick up McDonald's. What do you want? And I said, I didn't say hotcakes with big breakfast with hotcakes. I didn't. I got the breakfast burrito, the twofer, and I said, make sure you get me some mild picante sauce. Picante. And they gave me 3. So now I have 3 extra ones in my drawer. And there's Tom Duffy. And speaking of picante, I went to school with an Eddie Conti. Isn't that crazy? Tom, I hope Alice isn't driving you nuts over there. Shelly is sleeping. She was up all night with Kayla. So she's taking a sleeper. She did try to get in touch with Jess, but it was early, and I guess you guys were still sleeping. So at some point, she will be over there to pick up the dog. So today I got to write the next chapter of the thing for me and Tom. Frog in my throat. And then I want to finish this down and dirty 6 chapter. I asked a certain something to create a question and response between Mr. Frank and Fiona. The results: Fiona, why do people put bears inside books just to make them explode? Frank says, because someone has to keep the bears employed, and explosions are cheaper than therapy. Fiona, I would just eat the bears first. Then nothing would explode and everyone could read in peace. Nice. Yeah, a blind frog in my throat, exactly. Sometimes that Mayan treasure gets stuck in the back of your throat. Anyway, I'm going to get some writing in. It's always weird when my wife's home because I can't blast music. Like, I don't blast music, obviously, when I'm on Twitch, but the rest of the day is pretty much just music. I listened to, yesterday, no, not yesterday. Yesterday, Amanda was here. The day before, I listened to Billy Joel, kind of the greatest hits, according to me, thing. But then, after a while, it's just like, already enough of the piano thing. Alright, it's all just, I'm starting to put me to sleep. I've heard these songs a billion times. And then apparently some guy in some band that Wes Southard loves died, and everybody's talking about this guy I'd never heard of. Like, they'll just audition and hire somebody else. I've snoozed a certain someone named Tommy, so I don't get it. I don't have his words of wisdom about how great this guy was. I tried listening to that Mastodon band. My God, they're awful. Yeah, there was nothing. There was like nothing really special about it. Like every now and then you're like, oh, that's kind of a cool guitar riff that they stole from Exodus. I'll just listen to Exodus. But I'm old. I don't get any of those bands. Like Lamb of God, I don't get how you can listen to them for more than like one or two songs. Exactly. Apparently, Wes Southard loved them. One of his favorite bands of all time. He's seen them 37 times or something. Afternoon, Chad. Chad, what's your take on Mastodon? Without Mastodon, there'd be no strapping young lad. You know what? You're probably right. I'm sure Tommy will turn it into some. This guy was the be all. Without him, we wouldn't even have Chuck Berry. There would be no such thing as a Les Paul guitar. He's gonna be some stupid dumb take. I've tried listening to them a few times before, not really for me. Also, I find it funny that Tom calls them awful, but is always sporting a Venom shirt. I don't think Tom knows what awful is. Listen, I'm going to defend Tom here and Venom. When Venom came out, we had no idea. We were just a bunch of kids. We had no idea how bad musically they really were. It was more of the image. It was more of the fun of saying I'm wearing this shirt with satanic imagery and whatnot. Tom ain't listening to Venom anymore. I was gonna say I'm not listening to Celtic Frost anymore, but I do occasionally. But it's still not great. I mean, musically, it's just none of it is really any good. But at least you can go. You know what? These bands were the first doing this awful music in the '80s. We should have learned our lesson. Mastodon is what 4 levels past that now, and we're still doing bad music. I listen to all of it unapologetically. I'm sure you do, Mr. Frank. I just can't take seriously any grown man singing about Satan. Well, you know what? They can't take you seriously. Maybe not singing about Satan. I see that Steel Panther will be in Jacksonville at some tiny little freaking club downtown. And downtown here is like going to Asbury Park in the early '90s. Like you don't know if your car is going to be stolen or you're going to get killed. I can't take any grown man that doesn't sing about Satan seriously. Yet, so you know what? To each his own. I already did the Satan thing, but I was a kid, not a grown man. That's why. Here's my thing too. Like, and everybody knows, I'm not a fan of Ghost because they look stupid. They're like, oh, we're King Diamond. No, we're Kiss. No, we're Alice Cooper. No, and then their music is shitty. Their music is not what you would think they would be like. Oh, this garbage sounds like I don't know, fucking Mastodon or some garbage trying to let's be the heaviest band in the world. It's garbage. That's my opinion. That cover is great. Therefore, belongs on a shirt. Exactly, Tom. Exactly. Even Weird Al sings about Satan. Yeah. What about that, Chad? What about that? Shh, don't. I can't yell. My wife's sleeping. Weird Al, I thought was Satan, though. In all fairness. In all of the fairnesses. I love my wife, but she cramps my day when she's home like this. I can't be screaming and yelling. I can't be friggin' blasting Venom. I bet you I couldn't get through. I bet you I couldn't get through a Venom song at my age now. I bet you I would put it on and I'd be like, this is just so bad. I mean, I knew it was bad back in the day, but I was also like, whatever. My buddy Tommy Decavanis, who we called Tommy Destruction, would listen to all the like, Destruction and Possessed and Hyrax and tons and tons of bands that I just hated. I'm like, Death Angel is, this band is awful. I hate what Ghost stands for, but I do give them props for doing something aesthetically different and fusing other stuff with their metal. I really like a handful of their songs, but again, I hate the silly message. Evil in a League with Satan. Used to sing that song, Mr. Frank. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I know nothing. I love everything about Ghost Unapologetic. I know you do. I know you're a huge fan of theirs. And good. Good for you. Alright, so that chapter's done. Ooh, burping up those breakfast burritos from McDonald's. The Meat Man did a killer cover of Evil in a League with Satan. Armand says already shipped your kids, but yesterday, yet it won't be there for 9 more days. It's so stupid. But, and they always do that, which means I probably already have it on my steps. Dumb. I'll do an unboxing video of it though. Appreciate it, Chad. I do. I will definitely do an unboxing, and I will put it in my little free library. What are we working on today? Today I am working on Down and Dirty 6. Just started chapter 13. And I got to finish this. And then I'm also working on one called White Lies that me and Tom are doing our next trilogy. The one we just did, the trilogy we just finished at MondoCon, had black in the title on all three. This one's going to have white all three. The next one we do, fuchsia, I don't know. White Lines go away. No, not lies. White Lies. White Lines was actually the original. I was like, White Lines, but then I just kept singing the song in my head over and over and over. It was driving me nuts. Well, Frank, did you have that already set up, ready to go, in case somebody at some point talked about White Lines? I'm going to tell you, the first time I heard that song was at Seaside Heights. Whatever year, I don't know what year that came out. Frank, what year did that came out? Whatever year it came out. And I was on the Himalaya, on the pier in Seaside, and that was the song that they played 35 times in a row on full blast. So wherever you were on the pier, it drowned out every other every other song. I remember singing that and Pass the Dutchie when I was like 6. Another classic. Melly Mel, of course. 1983. Yeah, I was like 13. 13 or 14 when that came out. So yeah, you were probably about 6. Oh, you were 9. All right, so you were 9. Classic, just fucking classic. But I always remember whenever I hear that song. Not that I hear it all the time. Not that anybody's playing it all the time. But I would rather listen to that song instead of Mastodon any day of the week. Nope. Oh, Spotify's recommended Mastodon. Time to listen to White Lines. Go higher, baby. Go higher, baby. all the break dancers, Mark Dowd across the street, played that song on his boom box. Threw a piece of cardboard down in the street, and he would do his breakdancing moves on it. 9 years old, blessing, White Lines, waiting for Mr. Leonard's spot in the Z Morning. Oh my God, Mr. Leonard, classic. Yeah, you had a bad parenting. If those were two things you remember from being 9 years old, that should have been you remembered your Army men and your GI Joes. Is there a Mr. Leonard book? Doubtful. I remember we watched that Z Morning Zoo documentary, right? And they talked about him for about, I don't know, 8 seconds. Yes, Elmore Leonard. Mr. Elmore Leonard. Tom, you grew up in the New York area. You had to remember Z Morning Zoo, Mr. Leonard. Well, I think he was all over the place. Oh yeah, they glossed over him in that one. I'm guessing because they had a big fight or something at the end there. Shame, just shame. I told you I gave up on the Christy Brinkley book. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I did get about halfway through it, but then I'm just like, I don't understand your life at all. I will never understand your life, and the things you were talking about just seem dumb and stuff that normal people can't relate to. Anybody who reads that book and was like, oh yeah, I felt sorry for her. I felt like she was a sister to me. But I'm like, you're also a celebrity supermodel with money and no one to tell you no. I wonder what we're having for dinner tonight. I didn't take anything out. Maybe I'll actually get to go out to dinner with my wife tonight. Maybe she's craving some steak or something. So here's the problem I'm having. She had it so bad when she was young, she could only stay at four-star hotels in Paris. It was awful. Yeah, pretty much. It was like I'm 19 years old, and my parents who have a shit ton of money because my mother married someone in Hollywood who had money, and at 19 years old, I'm basically taking a trip to Paris, and I'm going to live in Paris, and that's what she did. And the whole thing is just like I can't relate at all. Mondo steak. Hey, 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 calm down. Do you feel like chicken tonight? Like chicken tonight. Do you feel the love tonight? I don't care what I eat tonight. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. So here's my problem right now. I'm writing these two books, and I have a similar character in each that I created. So in White Lies, not to be confused with the song White Lines, I have Yuri Petrov, who is a Russian mobster, and he's a pretty bad guy. In Down and Dirty 6, I have Dmitry Alexei Angelov, who is a Russian mobster and a pretty bad guy. And I almost wrote the name of the wrong one in this book as I'm writing White Lies. Also, the what I write with Tom, we can do profanity and whatever, more sexual situations. We don't overdo it, but you can say motherfucker or something. This, but then in Down and Dirty, I don't use any profanity or crazy violence or any sex really. And so sometimes I get I start going on that one, and then I'm like, oh, I wrong book. I want to finish Down and Dirty 6. That way, I'm just writing this with Tom, and then I have one more Severed Press book to write, and then that will be good. And then I'm going to work on my Southern Gothic noir. I have 3 different ideas. A couple of them I've already started. So my goal will be to keep working with Tom for as long as Tom can hang, and then just write that other stuff. I've only ever read one Elmore Leonard book. That's one more than I've read. Huh, interesting. You got to read all the if you've watched Justified, you got to read all the Raylan books. Those are great. But I'm a big Elmore Leonard fan, and I have been for a while. No, I've never read like Get Shorty and those books. I've really only read the short story collections and the Raylan stuff, and the Primeval one that really isn't a Raylan, but they made it into Justified into the series. I'll probably have Elmore Leonard on my YouTube channel in an interview. That should be exciting. Remember the time on Mondo Mondo Method podcast, Chuck brought up Elmore Leonard, and as if he was still with us. Like just so you know, Chuck. I mean, he died several years ago. I don't think there's any I haven't read. Yeah, I figured, Tom, you would have read all of the Elmore Leonard stuff. I like it. I enjoy it. But I enjoy crime thriller stuff. I just finished a one. It's like a southern. What's it called? Southern Gothic Noir Tales, a anthology. It was very good. You should get Lansdale on there, or at least reach out and see. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chad. I'm not interested. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Just not interested in talking to him. Chuck thinks dead writers are just hiding like him and Bentley. Yeah. You know who writes really good crimes? Good crime is Laird Barron. I've never read any. I, okay, so I've read. No disrespect. In two different anthologies, there's been a Laird Barron story, and both of them I could not finish. I just didn't like it. Maybe his crime stuff is better. I'm trying to hit all the authors that I know, that I like, that I've read, and I've only read one Barron book, and it was a crime book. Read a year or two ago. It was the first in a series. His crime stuff is better. Like one of his stories was like some fantasy weird thing, and I don't even remember what the other one was. I'm not saying I don't like Lansdale. I'm not saying I don't like his. I love his work. I just don't know if I want to talk to him. He's kind of a dick to me one time on the phone, and he was a dick to Chuck. Do you know? I love Lansdale. I've read a bunch. I've read probably most of his stuff, but I don't like want to sit and have him stare at me for 20 minutes. Pretend you're in an elevator. Right. How can anyone not be a dick to Chuck? Well, I gotta protect my little buddy there, you know? I mean, if Frank was there, he would have just laughed the whole time. So my goal is just to get to the next page on this. Yesterday, Amanda came over and wrote a couple 3,000 words with her here, which is nice. Then we went to the Japanese buffet, and I had a lot of seafood. And then I came home, did not take a nap. How did that Gabriella writer manage to get her first ever story published in Ellery Queen? I have the oh my, she's had like 3 or 4. So Gabriella we're both in Sisters in Crime, and I am mentoring her because she's trying to finish a novel. She's gotten a ton of short stories finished, and yeah, she's hitting big. But I'm gonna be honest with you, she's really good. We're both in the issue 10 of Dark Yonder, and I'm looking forward to reading her story. Is Amanda living the single life big time, hitting all the metal clubs, especially when Rat comes through? I think they're now Stephen Piercy and Warren D. Martini. I don't think they can legally use the name Rat. But no, she is. She's happy to be divorced, and she is just kind of like, just living my life. I'm gonna get some writing in, take care of my daughter, and that's it. I'm not worry about it. She seems much happier now, and so she Amanda started a book the Friday of MondoCon, which was the 7th. Right? 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. Today. She's up to 75,000 words on that book already. 75,000 words. Brand new romance series, or at least book for her so far. That's insane. Writing that many words. Like 6,000 words a day. And she's worried about writing in first person. Yeah, exactly. She said she finally got the hang of it, though. The writing in first person thing. So now she's just kind of flying. She's trying not to overthink it. She's just like, I just want to write and just finish the first draft and not worry about it. She's going with me to Nink in September. She's a member of the Novelists Incorporated, like I am, because of some pro sales. When did this Stark Lake book come from? I don't remember you talking about writing it. Are you on my Patreon? Because I wrote it on Patreon over like the last 4 years. And if you've read the week that was every Monday, like supposedly you were doing, you would see that I had been writing that book for like the last 4 years. Cosmic Horror. It was also on Vela on Amazon for like almost a year, and then they canceled the whole thing, and so I just dumped all of them in there, and I think I got nine visits to like the first page or something. It's a groundbreaking book. It's wonderful. So Frank says, sometimes I watch 2 episodes of Skinwalker Ranch in a row and I find myself disgusted with myself. I just scream at the television. And sometimes you watch 2 episodes back to back and you're like, was that just the same episode twice? Because the same thing happened with the rockets and the drones. And And then Eric wears a weird, funny hat. That dude, Eric Bard, who runs the whole thing, you can tell that kid got his ass kicked growing up. That was like super nerd. Stark Cake, a Cosmic Brownie novel. God, I love Cosmic Brownies. Why don't you bring that up, Tom? I'm still having a blast with all the Hallmark mysteries I discovered. They're a lot better than I thought they'd be. I guess if you like one, you like them all. If you like that formula. My wife also loves all those. In fact, I think one of the writers on, like, I don't know, 112 of those is going to be at BoucherCon in New Orleans in a couple weeks. I forget what his name is. But, like, literally he's written, like, 112 of those types of movies for Hallmark and for Angel Network, Angel Channel, something like that, and a couple other places. You know what? To each his own. If you like it, you like it. I can't stop you. I mean, I could swat you, because if you were watching it, and then I called in like a SWAT thing, and the swatting, whatever the kids call it, and then like the cops busted into your house while it was on, threw you down on the ground. I've toyed with the idea for years of running a cozy mystery series under a pen name. I wrote half of the first book a few years ago. Once you get into the groove of a cozy, they're actually very, very simple to write. It's very easy because you have a template of what needs to be done and when. You can go online and look up the beats that you have to have, and it's all almost like fill in the blanks kind of thing. And you know what? That shit sells. That shit sells. But you gotta have the dog or a cat on the cover that you can tell was just photoshopped in badly, so the cat's not even sitting on the couch or the table or whatever it is, just kind of floating. Chimp Exilax would be an awesome cozy mystery pen name. It would. I find them a lot harder than others, because you have to get into the mindset. You have to literally turn your brain off. I've written a couple. I've ghost written a couple of cozy mysteries. Not many people know that. And it was literally, I was given a website of, hey, here's how to write a cozy mystery, and here's the beats, and here's the setup on like every chapter. And I just was like, turn my brain off, boom. I found that a lot easier than writing a military romance. A lot easier. But I'm just not into it. I'm just not, I could chase the money. But yeah, you'd have to have like a different, I guess I wouldn't have to have a different pen name, but it would be confusing for my crime thriller stuff readers. I still think Chuck should have used the pen name Buck Chuda for his westerns. Yeah, that would have been perfect. The hard part would be creating the actual mystery and then keeping the reader guessing who done it, then piecing it together. For me, it was the worst part of doing the Neon Owl. I could ghostwrite one if you tell me who done it first. Buck Chuda is definitely a gay romance name. Yeah, that is true. So with the romance thing that I was given the basically this is this is what really happened and this is the person who really did it. Go. But then reading that, writing a cozy mystery thing, I basically they tell you how to set it up. So no matter who you pick, it makes sense. I think I have a couple of books on this side. Yeah, I think I have a couple of books of how to write a cozy mystery book kind of thing. They're interesting. Nope, 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 nope. Guess what time it is, boys and girls. Time to go to the bathroom. I read one or two how-to books on it a few years ago. Yeah, again, it's the concept is pretty simple. You got to be into it though. Like anything, you could write. I could write anything. Do I want to? Bathroom time. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm back. Whew. Didn't even have mushroom coffee. Didn't even have mushroom coffee, Frank. The hardest part is laying out the clues so the readers can try to solve it as well, and then having those red herrings. Yeah. The McDonald's breakfast does the same job. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that picante right through you. They give me a hot picante in the bag, like I'm going to have that garbage. Yeah, but all that, Tom, mystery writing stuff. Mickey D. Attempt to create a successful fast food chain and drum for Motorhead. Yeah, that guy is amazing. There's like a certain formula for Cozy Mystery to introduce the bad guy. Like, you can't just introduce him at the end. You can't introduce him halfway through the book. He's got to be one of the initial characters, even in a cameo. You know, even in a quick. I don't know. Once you get that down, though, and I know authors. I know others who go to Nink who make a shit ton of money writing cozy mysteries, and they just blast them out. I mean, you're basically just changing sometimes the place, sometimes the characters. You know, they'll write like a series of several books, and it's all set in the same world, but it's all different characters. And you might have some crossover, but generally, or you're going to have like, you know, Aurora Teagarden kind of books where you have the same character. Watching the Yankees Red Sox game last night, there was a cameraman who loves boobs because there was a couple of old dudes, Yankee fans, sitting, and they kept showing them, but there was a woman, and I swear her, like, they were like this skinny, and they were like this big, sitting behind them, with all cleavage in a tight white T-shirt. It must have been cold at the game, and they showed her like 10 times. Wow. I heard lady cozy mystery readers are pretty loose. Whoa. I'm not. I didn't spread that rumor. She's a future case of degenerative disc disease. That's what I heard. I've never read a cozy mystery I actually enjoyed though, but I sure do love watching them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of reading them. There was one I read because it was set nearby in Amelia Island, and I'm like, how many times are you going to feed this fucking cat? You know, the cat's not solving the mystery. Stop with the cat. And then I realized people are probably like, how many times is this James Gaffney guy going to eat in Dirty Deeds? All he does is eat and drink Dunkin' coffee. I can't yell though. Nick. Next page. Nick saying next page. Next page. I was away from a mushroom coffee break. Please don't be drinking mushroom coffee. You don't know what you're getting into or what's going out of you. Dude, yes, too much baking, cats, food talk. Yeah. There are some. My wife will listen audiobooks of cozy mysteries. There's a couple of series that she likes, but it's not the dog solving the cases. You get a lot of those. You get a lot of the cats or the dogs are solving a case. That's just stupid. To me anyway. But yeah, the one I read, because it literally was set downtown in Amelia Island, was, I think like the start of the book was the lady getting up. Like she owned the bookstore or something. Her getting up and feeding her, 47 cats or something. And then talking to the cats and, asking how their day was going to be, blah, blah, blah. Not that the cats were talking back or, but they were just normal cats. But I'm like, man, this is a whole chapter of just talking about these fucking cats and how she rescues cats. Does anyone write fairies mysteries? I'm sure they do. The dog solves the mystery. Don't tell Dean Koontz. Yeah. Patiently waiting for the next Dean Koontz book. Also, patiently waiting for that new Jordan Harper book. I'm sure he'll talk about it at BoucherCon. Is Dean still doing the dog stuff, or is he finally over that? There's dogs or animals occasionally in his books since he signed the deal with Amazon past few years. But most of the time, it's not like there's no magic dogs. But like the one book, there was a fox who was a little bit more intelligent than should have been, and there's like hints of stuff, but there's no. Although I think there was one time that there was a dog in one of the books. I read them as they come out. So does Tom. Tom helped me out here, but I believe the dog could teleport. For some reason, I seem to remember reading that the dog teleported into another car, and the people had a car accident or something. The bad guys, I don't know. He's like Whitney Schreiber with alien abduction books. Koontz can't write outside of the dog box after a certain point. Well, he got very comfortable in the 80s into the 90s with writing about dogs, writing about his dog. And he was selling a shit ton of books. So if you hit on that formula, then the publisher's like, we need more of this. I wonder what it was like when his agent was basically, hey, listen, we're no longer with whoever they were with, and Amazon wants to sign you to a huge contract, like a 20-book deal, millions of dollars. And I wonder if at any point they were like, but no dogs. Not as many dogs. Every third, fourth book can have dogs. Because it's backwards, straightforward stuff like Intensity, one of the best thrillers ever written. His growing up when I'm, in the 80s, and I'm reading before he became huge, and all of his action adventure stuff, Lee Nichols and all those pen names were great, phenomenal. Then they re-released them, edited them. Strainer is like L. Ron Hubbard, but also with aliens. Intensity lives up to its name, or Schreiber, or whoever. Strainer, I like Strainer. Strainer's a great writer. His first name, Water Strainer. And his brother, Pasta Strainer. I forget the book. I remember the original cover. It was like an iceberg or something. Skeet Stramer. I love that guy. Skeet Stramer. And I think they changed. It was Icebound or something. I think they changed the title from what it originally was. But it was really, it was like this American pilot or something that was captured by the Russians. I don't know. It's really good. I mean, the dude has a shit ton of books. They're all good. Skeet Strainer is Geezer Butler's pen name. Icebound, Glacier on the cover. There, yeah, exactly. Was that a Dean Koontz book with that cover, or was it a? I don't think it was Lee Nichols. It was whatever the other, one of the other pen names. Flowerheart, how are you? How are you going? I'm going. How are you doing? Trapped Under Ice. I believe that's what it was. Yes, it was the Frozen in Ice. I'm doing well. Doing quite well. I did not drink mushroom coffee today, so I'm doing even better. I think I have four of those left. At some point, I'm going to have to. I'll probably drink them this weekend if I'm not going out. I think the Glacier cover was when it was re-released under the Koontz name. That makes sense. The Ice Was Angry. Sequel to Fight Fire with Fire. I'm okay, but want to scream a bit. Why do we want to scream? Tell us your problems. Sometimes you tell total strangers your problems. That's what happens. That's what helps you. And while you're screaming, I'm going to write a little bit. The sea was having a hard go at it. The sea was mildly annoyed. One of my favorite books is getting adapted next year, but adaptation gets worse with every minute. Well, yeah. There's really not many exceptions to that. Everybody's complaining now about what Night Always Comes, the Netflix movie, which is The Night Always Comes is the name of the book, and everybody's saying that if you've read the book, don't watch the movie because it's not nearly as good. I thought the movie was good. In fact, I'm doing a YouTube review on it at some point this weekend. Like everything I heard about it is getting worse and worse. So you know the book Wuthering Heights. Yes. What are they trying to do with that? The sea would like to speak. The sea is so pissed off right now. Have a list. Certain things should not be adapted. Certain things should not be rebooted. For starters, we didn't still heard a word about if there was going to be Henley actor. They adding random sex scenes. They found perfect actor for Heathcliff, but have him role of Linton. Costume work is absolutely horrendous. And they'll make just enough money on it to say we did a good job. And for no reason they'll put like remember we went through like all those movies a few years ago were like all period pieces and or like fantasies, people shooting bows and arrows and stuff, but then we had like Disturbed and all these like heavy metal bands on the soundtrack. Like, well, it just seemed dumb. Held mess for a reason. Aggression. I'm Ruffino. I'm going to kill you. Huxtable. They denied your Emerald Fennel, I'm going to kill you. Maybe tone it down a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Huxley, you're thinking of the Cosby Show. I'm not planning to do anything with her. Don't talk about that or fudge. I'm just really pissed about what she's doing with the book. Man. Well, that sucks. Ugh. What is this? Who's messaging me? Tom, agreed. Ooh, here's the mailman. Looks like just garbage. This morning we had the pest control guy came out. And he sat in his truck and he smoked weed for about 20 minutes while he was on his phone. Then he came to the door and knocked at the. I hate when they knock at the door. Just do your job. You don't need, you know. It's almost like they It's like, let me knock and see if anybody's home, because then if they're not home, I'm going to lie and say I did my job. And he knocks at the door. You know, my wife's trying to sleep. So he comes to the door to knock. I rush out there, answer the door. You got any problems or anything? I'm like, yeah, there's wasps. There's like 8 different wasp nests in the window on the outside. All right. So he goes, he does what he's supposed to. He's spraying, he's doing his stuff. Goes, sits in his truck for another like 10 minutes smoking weed. And when he came to the door, it just like hits you. As long as you're doing your job, I don't care. Then he rings the doorbell. Son of a bitch. I get up. I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, so the screen is bent in, and so the wasp has been getting in, and there's like 9 different big wasp nests between the screen and the glass, so you can't open that window. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't gonna open the window because there's wasps in it. He's like, well, there's no wasp in it right now. They're all out doing wasp things, so you could replace the screen. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. I'm like, did you at least spray? He's like, yeah, I just sprayed around. He's like, I didn't want to spray it on the window. I said, well, you could have sprayed it on the window. It doesn't matter. We'll never open that window again. That window is sealed forever because a wasp was on it. And then he goes and sits in his truck and he smokes some more weed, and then he drives off. Are you pissed, or are you barefoot Contessa pissed? I'm like hovering right between those two things, Mr. Frank, to be honest with you. I'm hovering. Is Chris Holmes with the Wasps, or is it just Blackie? Yeah, they can't be in the same window together. They can't be together. All they'll do is argue and fight. No one will get to sleep in this house. Yeah, people they always got to ring the doorbell. Like, there's literally a mat out there that says no need to ring the doorbell because Alice knows you're here, with a picture of the dog on it. They still ring the doorbell. Probably because the one wasp was a bad man. I see what you did there, Chad. I see what you did. But I'm like, I don't know. To me, that seems like, I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna do the bare minimum of my job. Like when the guy comes to spray, and yesterday he came and he knocks at the door. Yeah, I'm here to spray. Oh, okay. You don't need my permission. Just fucking spray. And I'm always like, if he knocks and I don't answer the door, is he not going to do the backyard? You know what I'm saying? Like I should not answer. But then I would be annoyed because I'm not going to confront him. I'll scream and yell about it, but I'm not going to actually confront him. I'll just call my wife and go, hey, this guy was here and he didn't spray the backyard. And then she'll confront the company. Because that's how I live my life. I always talk a big game, but I'm not going to do anything. How is he to know you're an introvert? Exactly. Sometimes I get my panties in an uproar and I'll say something or whatever, but usually no. I don't care. I just don't care. I gotta finish this page and then part of the next page, and so Tom can get to writing. Well, I've definitely gone way over an hour. Huh. Yeah. Because I can't take a nap today because my wife's already taken a nap. I'm supposed to be working. Oh, I guess she's also supposed to be working. I thought she had to go somewhere, maybe at 3. I should probably wake her up soon. So at this point, Tom, I don't know when she's coming to get the dog, to be honest with you. I thought you and Alice are just sitting around watching some Netflix. Lol, Mr. Frank just lols. This fucking dude just lols a lot. Be right back. Coheed and Cambria have a new video. Gotta watch it. Seriously? That bullshit is more important than me? Not a fan. But if Coheed or Cambria dies, our buddy Tommy will tell you all about how they've changed the world. I don't know. Alright, I'm out of here too. I'm out of here, but guess what I'm not going to be doing? Even if you put a gun to my head, watching the new Coheed and Cambria video. Please. Alright guys, I will... it's Friday. I will not be around tomorrow. Sunday I will be around. I'm out of here. Loggins Messina. Have a new video out. Have a good weekend. Bye. I'll see everybody later. I probably will be on Sunday, but I probably won't be on YouTube Live since I keep having a lot of problems, technical problems with it. But and again, I might not even be on here. I might just take Sunday off to watch the Red Sox. Hopefully, at that point, beat the Yankees 3 games in a row. You have a wonderful, wonderful Friday and weekend. See everybody Monday.